Welcome back to the Finer Details, a series where we go around the maps of Hitman 3, take a look around, and run around on a racetrack where we don't belong. Today we are in Miami, which is a very large map. We've got some out-of-bounds secrets to discover, some secret exits, and just some general all-round nice things. So with that said, let's get started. The first thing that we're going to take a look at are the various pamphlets around the map which advertise the race. It obviously shows it takes place in 2018 and on July the 15th, 16th and 17th. However, those aren't actually a Friday, Saturday and Sunday according to the calendar. What makes it slightly more interesting is the next time those days appear on those days, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, is 2022. And with the Formula One Association planning to start a race in Miami in 2022. I feel I've got something cool coming there. Upstairs in the lab with the automated robot, there is this scientist with a very interesting drawing stuck to his back. You don't need me to tell you what it looks like. 3 sets of hills from the Mario Bros game, or a sandcastle. You decide. In the parking garage, we have this set of post-it notes which is shaped like a rubber duck. Outside, there are a couple of benches you can sit on to read the newspaper, which is called the Miami Echo. It might not be a full reference, but there was an old video game called Echo the Dolphin, and obviously Miami being known for the Miami Dolphins, there could be a link here. Upstairs in the Kronstadt building, there is a diagram on the wall which look very similar to the Hokkaido map, the left-hand one being the apartments and the ski lift area. The expo in the Kronstadt Centre actually also references a Hokkaido map. You've got Kai, the operator of that, and also the operating table from the map as well that murdered Eric Sodas. Around the map there are quite a lot of dolphins featured, both in the fountain here and also generally around the map. These are to reference the Miami Dolphins, the football team based in Miami. In the race director's office on the table there is a Cassandra Snow novel by Craig Black, the target of the author map. The book is also the same one that features in the book reading of that map. In the Kronstadt paddock there is this note on a table addressed to Simon. It's a love letter from someone called Jan. Having looked around there wasn't actually much available to find on this topic, so having posted on Reddit I got the result from SJ90 that it could be from Janine Hawkins, one of the writers of the Hitman games. The doctor in the medical building is holding his clipboard with a note on it to do with safety protocols of a jet. That seems familiar from the ICA facility. Also in the medical building on the whiteboard there are 3 names here that stand out. You've got J. Doug, A. Farron and M. Channel. All 3 of these refer to Jane Douglas, Andy Farron and Mike Channel from the channel Outside Xbox, who do a series of non-Hitman no subtitle, which I would definitely recommend you give a watch as well. In the research lab of the Kronstadt building there is this monitor which features surveillance cameras from the Paris map. Makes you wonder why, to be honest. Another couple of monitors in the same area. The left one features a Sanguine logo and the right hand one features the same map from Colorado by Tawley McTallface. And there's another monitor with a couple of cool details. In the top right you've got a Sapienza 1-week getaway for $600 per person. In the bottom right you've got a Hokkaido baseball team that's referenced in the map, and a couple of other notes to do with the class and also Marrakesh as well, and the riots taking place there. Back again for the Hitman 2 maps, we've got Sapienza Watch, and today one of the laptops features pictures of cars, which makes sense considering we're at a racetrack. In one of the fish tanks at the aquarium, we've got a pineapple referencing SpongeBob. On one of the VIP passes near the stands, there's a couple of logos at the bottom of it. You've got the American flag, and the one next to it is the same layout as the Circuit de Catalunya, which is the Spanish Grand Prix map. Upstairs in the research room, we've got this diagram on the wall here, which bears a very strong resemblance to Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, with a few added touches to the middle. Moving on to some of the out-of-bounds stuff now, and it turns out if you walk 47 in the middle of the track, and the cars come towards him, they will interact with him, but won't damage him. Quite disappointing really, considering it means 47 is now officially immortal to cars. Also another thing, 47, he cannot interact with any of the out of bounds barricades that have been damaged, and he has super strength to be able to move some of the debris around from the cars that have crashed. If you ever wondered what the car crashes look like up close, here's one now. 47 really has no fear of death. It also turns out that despite crashing her car, Sierra Knox does actually manage to survive the crash in a way. If you look into her car when you've crashed, if you look into it with a camera, you will see that she is actually still sat in the car in what would probably be the normal racing pose. She's technically dead, however, she isn't actually dead from the looks of it. Really strong cars these must be. Another cool detail in the same area is that behind this white board here, you have both models for Moses Lee and Sierra Knox. My guess is the game stores them here for when the race finishes, and obviously even if they're dead, they will still stay here as the models haven't technically loaded into map. You can even change into the Moses Lee's disguise, leaving him stood there in his underwear behind Sierra Knox. Another area I wanted to check out of bounds was the little shaft where you dump Sierra Knox during the secret meeting. I blew myself up, managed to wiggle my way in and found out there wasn't actually much down here, which means there's only a certain amount of space for bodies, which gives me an idea for later on. And the final bit that I managed to find while out of bounds was this little blue garage area. It took a little while to wiggle my way in because it's very awkward to see, but once you do get inside, you can find a load of models for Moses Lee, Sierra Knox, and even Robert Knox, which, due to them not technically being rendered in, means you can check the scaling of them very close. You can see the very fine details on Robert Knox's hair there. My guess is these are potentially the models used for the in-game cutscene which plays before the map. Next, we're going to take a look at the TV articles which make some references similar to how Hawke's Bay did. The first one we've got is mentioning how the race is taking place, even if it's already over.
The annual Global Innovation Motor Race, where the world's tech giants flex their engineering muscles, is on its final day, and event planners report record ticket sales. Like the 5 previous years, the race is dominated by Sierra Knox of Kronstadt Industries and Moses Lee of the Chinese consumer tech company Kowloon. 2 fierce power players whose tense rivalry will no doubt keep spectators at the edge of their feet right up until the final lap.
The next article we got mentions Sean Rose, who was the target of Colorado, and apparently it was a gruesome discovery of his body, meaning it must have been bad.
A body discovered in the desert has been identified as FBI most wanted bomb maker Sean Rose. A group of local children made the gruesome find close to an abandoned apricot farm, which, according to sources at the FBI, may have served as the training ground for a private militia. Whether the demise of Rose, a known left-wing terrorist, is in any way connected to the recent string of anti-corporate assassinations remains to be seen.
The next article we've got is a slight preview towards the Columbia map, which is the next one down in the story.
The drug war between the rivaling Delgado and Moreno cartels saw an escalation this week, as a dozen mutilated bodies were found bricked up inside a residential complex in Medellin. The victims were identified as Delgado sicarios by their cartel link, and the massacre is believed to be retaliation for the brutal dismembering of Moreno cartel boss Esteban Montoya's beloved nephew Chico, who was shipped to his uncle by courier service in 25 gold-rimmed boxes. The once minor Delgado cartel has risen to prominence under the cunning and brutal leadership of Rico Delgado, and lately the cartel has been consolidating its power, challenging the Moreno's position as the region's premier drug manufacturers, and DEA experts fear the conflict will get worse before it gets better.
The next article makes references to the Marrakesh map, which is based in Morocco and makes name of Klaus Hugo Strandberg and also Reza Zaydan, both the targets who died in that map.
Will get worse before it gets Inquiries into the failed military coup d'etat began today with the testimonies of several captured Zaydan loyalists, who all maintain that the deceased general acted alone in his attempt to overthrow the country's democratically elected government. A question which has spawned several popular conspiracy theories, involving everyone from the CIA to the Freemasons. Next week's hearing will focus on Swedish banker Klaus Hugo Strandberg, who, willingly or not, played a key role in General Zaydan's intricate plot, which is feeling more and more like the plot of a Jack Ryan.
Another news article we've got, this time slightly different one. When you cause Sierra Knox's car to crash, the news article straight away mentions that she's died and is interviewing a driver at the scene. However, if this probably happened in real life, I doubt this would happen for a while, especially stood right in front of the crash scene. The final news article we've got is to do with Sebastian Sato, who is the fashion designer from the Paris map. He is mentioned because he's bringing out a new line of gender-neutral clothing, and the report does mention Viktor Novikov, who dies in the Paris map.
In New York, acclaimed designer Sebastian Sato has launched a new gender-neutral fashion brand. Sato, who until recently was head designer for famous couture brand Sanguine, suffered a nervous breakdown following the mysterious demise of his boss, Sanguine CEO Viktor Novikov. And his return to the limelight will surely excite fashionistas everywhere who, like this reporter, have had it up to here with early...
The next Easter egg we've got revolves around a secret outfit that is hidden in the map. It is called the Pale Rider, and it is very much a reference to the Stig from Top Gear. It can be found in the downstairs bit below the pit garages, and when you complete the mission using this disguise, some various lines are mentioned by Diana when you go to exit using the car in the garage.
Some say he could make it as a top fashion model, and that he is the only person to have ever visited the Palais de Valeska dressed as a vampire. All we know is his name is 47. Some say he once infiltrated a high-tech medical facility dressed as Santa, and that he shouldn't be left alone with fireworks. All we know is his name is 47. Some say that he can choke out a man forever, yet still has time to play the waiting game. All we know is his name is 47. Some say he is passionate about infiltration, yet has no discernible emotions whatsoever. All we know is his name is 47.
The next Easter egg we've got is based on the Aquarium area of the map, and it requires you to bring a sniper rifle along, and when you're using it in this spot here, you'll notice where I'm standing there is a mannequin, and also there are a couple of marks on the glass that line up with the sign in the background that usually mention about the live exercise for the firing range. When you take out the sniper rifle and look down the sight, it'll line up the word live exorcism in progress. And now we watch the mannequin next to it as it starts to move. Really gives quite the scare that when you're not expecting it. And yes, this mannequin is quite impervious to damage and will disappear if you go too far away. The next couple of Easter eggs involve a flamingo that can be found around the map. The first one starts by picking up this picture which can be found at this hut here, and what we're going to do as a result of this is we're going to drag the person that's the flamingo outfit into the live firing area, which does take a while and needs quite a bit of timing, And if you've got the Flamingo picture while wearing the Flamingo disguise, what you can do is place him down in front of the robot, get the robot to scan the picture, and the robot will start firing. And as a result, once the robot finishes firing, something very special will happen to everyone in the map. As you can see there, everyone gets turned into a flamingo, whether they be unconscious already, whether they be shot already, or still alive. And this involves all the guards, pit mechanics, all of that lot. The only people that aren't included, however, are the non-interactive NPCs, so the general crowd fillers like people in the stands. Still a fun thing to do though, and we're definitely going to be working with this in a bit. The other Easter egg we got with the Flamingo involves completing a mission as to him and heading towards the helipad where the helicopter would normally be on top of the Kronstadt building. You'll find a nest which counts as an exit, and when used, 47 will decide to fly away as if he's magically grown wings. I think he's part of the Red Bull racing team because he's grown some wings. And then T-poses a bit. And last but by no means least, there's another secret exit which involves holding a fish and running around the fountains in a particular order based on where the water's spurting. This one is a bit buggy at the moment and it took me quite a while to get it to work, but when you do get it to work, it'll appear as an exit once you hover over the final one. And when activated, 47 will ride out of Miami on top of a dolphin, because what else would he leave Miami on? And that's all we've got for this episode of The Finer Details based in Miami. As mentioned at the start of the episode, there's definitely a lot to see, and I'm not surprised it went on for this long, to be honest, because it's a very big map. Next up, we'll be moving on to Santa Fortuna, Colombia, which is another big map that might feature just as much. So thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. And yeah, this guy's just hanging around, he'll be fine.